Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In our today's discussion, we are going to talk about how you can effectively take notes that will help you retain the information that you read. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ahmad Waqas and I'm a law professor and a graduate of University of California at Berkeley with the LLM degree. In our video today, we're going to look at 3 steps that will help you develop your note-taking skills to a level that will allow you to retain whatever complex text that you read. A lot of students struggle with this, especially when they are reading a complex information in different textbooks that they are reading for the purpose of the exam or quizzes that they have to take. So I'm going to run you from the 3-step process that I developed during my undergraduate and postgraduate studies that radically helped me to enhance my skills of retaining the information that I've read. It allowed me to learn that information easily and help me get better scores in the exam. So I'll share that formula with you. We're going to talk about the 3 steps. First step is called the Marginalia. The second one is the use of short notes. I'm going to explain you how short notes can be developed, what things that will help you when you are developing those short notes. Step 3 is the review process, and this process especially is for those students who have an exam and they want to retain that information for the purpose of that very exam. So let's just quickly look at the first one. So the first thing is called marginalia. Now, this term, while reading it, it's important to effectively and precisely filter out the information or the important details of the large text into the short, memorable points. So the theory which is most accepted around the world is known as marginalia. This simply means the notes you scribble along the sides of the textbook. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's new in this? We always write some notes, but we don't tend to remember them. How can we remember those notes when we are reading the textbook? I'll teach you how. So the thing is, let's assume there's this textbook that we have as a sample. Now, on that very textbook, what is important is that you highlight, you read whatever the text that is saying, but then write in some bullet pointers the very thing that the author is trying to communicate, the very thing that the author is trying to write down. Also make sure to use sticky notes, as you can see behind me on the screen, where there is a word that you don't understand and that is a word that you have to research upon. So you can jot it down on a separate color sheet, which is a sticky note that will help you remember it. Once you have done that, once you have jotted down the bullet pointers on the sides of each margin that you have on the textbook, the next step comes up. And the next step is to understand the semantic meaning. However, the difficult part is then to know what exactly to write within the margins. For that, it is essential to understand the semantic meaning of the text, simply understanding what the paragraph is saying. The key is to summarize the whole paragraph and limit it under one short sentence. So if let's say there's 5 lines, you have to write down it in one short sentence. So at the end of that very page, you then need to summarize the entirety of the page. The arguments that have been laid down in the whole page needs to be then summarized in 3 bullet pointers at the end of the page. So I'm not simply saying that you should only be writing within the margin of the text. That will help you retain what you are reading. On each page, sum up the pointers in 3 short sentences of whatever is takeaway of that very page. This has 2 advantages. Even if you stop reading at that given page, you can always pick up from where you left off next time. All you have to do is look at the summary points of the text. You don't have to go through the whole thing, just look at the summary points. The next advantage is writing points in your own words makes your retention easy, because when you write the syntax of the letters or the sentences with your own handwriting, it is easier for you to recall it, as compared to reading the text, which is typed in a manner or a font that is not recognized by you or your brain. Moving on, that is step number 2. Now, a lot of people at this point use flashcards to learn or remember things, but I prefer short notes. If you intend to make your notes for the purpose of exam or quiz, then this step might be essential for you. I prefer to jot down margin notes and summaries onto note sheets or pages. However, it is important to keep a number in mind. Let's say you read 50 pages of complex chapter. Your notes should not be more than 5 to 6 pages long. This must be an outline. Remember, the idea is to condense your notes as much as possible. You're supposed to shrink your notes. You're not supposed to recreate the same thing. Let's say if you are reading 50 pages and you write 25 pages notes, you will never be able to learn them up. So what is important is that you slash it out to the extent that it does not lose its meaning, but at the same time it is so precise that you can easily recall these pointers, and the whole idea of those 50 pages can be refreshed quickly. Now, there are two key tips that I want to give here. The first one is that use of the colors. So these tips will radically improve your note making process. First, use different color pens to highlight more important points you feel in the text. Now, what you need to do is that even within your notes, you can use highlighters to highlight that text. Secondly, use different colors. Thirdly, use sticky notes on each page to simply summarize everything on that. This process is what I call as the shrinking method, which will further downsize your notes even further. So for instance, if you have out of 50 pages, the note that you extracted from the margins and you put it up on the note sheet is, let's say, 6 pages long, you paste a sticky note like the one you see on this side of the screen, something of this sort. You paste a sticky note which outlines whatever is on that very page. So you see the process of how from one page we are shrinking it down to ultimately, let's say, 5 or 6 sticky notes, not more than that. So the last step is the review process. Now, this is also very helpful for those of you who intend to learn these notes and want to go for the quiz. This is a process where you counter check your short notes. You might want to look back at the margin notes and see if there's any point that you missed out. Additionally, if you're preparing for a question, check whether your prepared note allows you to easily comprehend the answer to the practice question. Personally, I add my own opinion about the text or other related literature that can elevate my perspective about the subject. Now, this is also very helpful. I use a different sticky note color in order to add my own opinion or the opinion of other authors. Let's say if I read a journal article or let's say a report from the internet, I would add it with a different color. So with this 3-step process, your learning will be so easy. It will be so efficient. It will be saving you so much time eventually that you can score really well and focus more on your studies by adopting this 3-process method for the purpose of preparing your exam or purpose of taking your notes. So if you have liked this video and you learned something new, please make sure to subscribe to my channel for such more informative videos. Thank you very much, guys.